Before you even open your eyes, something is already shaping your day. It's not the weather, your schedule, or even what happened yesterday. It's the voice inside your head. What does it say? I'm exhausted. I can't handle this. I'm not good enough. And just like that, before you take your first step, you've already built the walls of your own prison. But here's the truth. The Stoics understood long before modern science caught up. Your inner dialogue isn't just background noise, it's the architect of your reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Neuroscience now confirms what he knew centuries ago. The words you repeat to yourself carve deep pathways in your mind, shaping your beliefs, actions, and ultimately your fate. Today on Stoic Echoes US, we're breaking down the silent force that determines success or failure, your self-talk. How do the ancient Stoics and modern science align on this? And more importantly, how can you take control? Stay until the end, because one small shift in how you speak to yourself could change the course of your life. Now, let me ask you, what's the one phrase you catch yourself repeating every day? Drop it in the comments below, and let's uncover the patterns shaping our lives. 1. The silent force that shapes your life. There is a voice inside your head. It speaks before you do. It whispers before you act. And whether you realize it or not, it is shaping your life. Every morning before the world greets you, this voice has already decided the kind of day you will have. For some, it starts like this. I'm exhausted. I'm not good enough. Today is going to be hard. And just like that, the battle is lost before it even begins. But what if you could control this voice? What if instead of tearing you down, it built you up? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Neuroscience now proves he was right. The words you repeat to yourself are not just fleeting thoughts, they are instructions to your brain. Every time you reinforce a belief, whether empowering or destructive, you carve a deeper neural pathway, making that thought easier to access and harder to change. Your mind is like a sculptor, shaping reality with every internal dialogue. If you keep telling yourself that you're incapable, that you'll fail, that you're not worthy, your brain accepts these as truths. But if you consciously rewire your thoughts, shifting them towards resilience and self-trust, your actions begin to align with a stronger version of yourself. Think about it. Have you ever hesitated before speaking up in a meeting? Before taking an opportunity? Before making a difficult decision? What held you back? Was it the actual challenge, or was it the voice in your head saying, "What if I embarrass myself? What if I'm not ready?" Now, imagine another version of yourself standing in that same moment. But this time, instead of doubt, your mind whispers, "I bring value. I will grow from this. I am prepared." The hesitation fades. The path forward becomes clear. This is not magic. It is discipline. The Stoics understood that external events are beyond our control, but our interpretation of them is within our grasp. Epictetus taught, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the view we take of them." If you believe a situation is impossible, it will be. If you believe it is an opportunity, it becomes one. Picture an actor standing backstage, heart pounding. He has rehearsed every line, every movement, but in the final moments before stepping into the spotlight, his mind betrays him. What if I forget everything? His breath shortens, his hands turn cold, and fear paralyzes him. The curtain rises, and the words he once knew vanish. Now imagine another actor in the same position, the same nerves, the same anticipation, but this time he whispers to himself, "I am prepared. I will own this stage." His body responds to his belief. His voice projects confidence. His movements are fluid. His presence commands the room. The difference, not skill, not intelligence, but the words they told themselves before stepping forward. Your inner voice is either your greatest weapon or your most destructive enemy. It is silent to the world but deafening to your reality. It decides whether you step up or step back, whether you endure or break, whether you build or destroy. So ask yourself, what have you been telling yourself lately? What words are shaping your reality? Because whether you know it or not, your mind is listening, and it is waiting for a new script. And here's the most powerful part. You get to decide what that script will be. 2. The silent architect of your reality. There is a war happening inside you, but it is not a war fought with swords or shields. It is silent, invisible, and yet it shapes every decision, every action, every failure, and every victory in your life. That war is your inner dialogue. Most people don't realize it, but the voice in their head is not just commentary, it is command. It dictates whether they move forward or retreat, whether they try or give up, whether they build resilience or collapse under pressure. Epictetus said, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the view we take of them." And what is the first thing that shapes that view? Your self-talk. Think about it. Two people can face the same challenge. One thrives, the other crumbles. The difference is rarely in their ability. It is in the words they whisper to themselves before they act. A young actor stands backstage. His heart races, his hands tremble. In his mind, a voice repeats, "What if I forget my lines? What if I embarrass myself? What if I fail?" The curtain rises, and his worst fear comes true, not because he lacked preparation, but because his mind had already defeated him before he ever stepped on stage. Now, imagine another actor in the same position. He feels the same nerves creeping in, but his inner voice is different. "I have prepared. I know my lines. I will command this stage." His body responds to his belief. His voice projects confidence. His movements are fluid. His energy commands the room. The difference, the story they told themselves in silence. Your inner voice, a private force with public consequences. What you say to yourself in private determines how the world sees you in public. A leader who doubts himself in silence will appear uncertain when he speaks. An athlete who tells himself he is not strong enough will collapse before the finish line. A person who constantly thinks, "I am not good enough," will carry that energy into every conversation, every decision, every opportunity. Your mind is always listening. It does not question whether the words you repeat are true. It simply accepts them and shapes your actions accordingly. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated thoughts. If you constantly tell yourself you're weak, incapable, or doomed to fail, your brain reinforces those beliefs. But if you train yourself to think, "I can figure this out. I am resilient. I will overcome this," you begin to embody those truths. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You do not control what happens around you, but you control the words you tell yourself about it, and that changes everything. So ask yourself, what story have you been telling yourself? Because whether you know it or not, You are already living it. 3. Train your mind like a champion. A warrior does not step onto the battlefield unprepared. A champion does not enter the arena without training. And yet, most people walk through life expecting to succeed without ever training their minds. Your mind is like a muscle. It strengthens with discipline, or it weakens with neglect. And just like an athlete trains their body, you must train your thoughts. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And here's the truth. Your brain does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. If you constantly picture failure, your body reacts as if it is already happening. Your breath shortens, your muscles tense, and hesitation takes over. But if you visualize success, if you see yourself handling challenges with strength and clarity, your body follows that belief. A pianist does not wait until the concert to believe in his ability. He envisions every note, every movement, feeling the music before his fingers ever touch the keys. A fighter does not wait until the match begins to see himself winning. He has already fought the battle in his mind 1,000 times. What about you? When you step into a difficult situation, what does your mind show you? Do you see yourself failing, stumbling over words, falling short? Or do you see yourself strong, composed, and in control? Your mind is your private training ground. No one sees the hours an athlete spends in silent private training. No one hears the repetitions, the whispered affirmations, the mental rehearsals. But when the moment arrives, when the lights are on and the stakes are high, their preparation becomes undeniable. Your self-talk is no different. Most people wait for confidence to come to them. They wait until they feel ready. But champions don't wait. They train their minds in private, so that when the world tests them, they do not hesitate. Marcus Aurelius practiced premeditatio malorum, visualizing obstacles before they happened, preparing his mind to remain steady no matter what came. He did not fear difficulty because he had already faced it in his mind. If you do not train your thoughts, the world will train them for you. And the world is full of doubt, fear, and hesitation. How to train your mind like a champion? Start today. Each morning, before you face the world, take a moment to train your mind. See yourself succeeding. Hear your voice steady. Feel yourself handling difficulty with calmness and clarity. Repetition strengthens the mind. The more you visualize success, the more your brain wires itself to expect it. And when the real moment arrives, you will not hesitate, because you have already been there. The mind you train in silence is the mind that will speak for you in public. Train it well. 4. The science of thought. Rewiring your mind for strength. Imagine standing in a dense forest, surrounded by towering trees. There is no clear path, just thick, untouched wilderness. The first time you push through, every step is difficult. The branches scratch your skin, and the ground is uneven beneath your feet. But if you walk the same path every day, something changes. The grass flattens, the dirt hardens, the way becomes clear. Your brain works the same way. Every thought you repeat is like stepping through that forest. If you constantly think, "I'm not good enough," you carve that path deeper. Soon it becomes the easiest route for your mind to take. But if you consciously replace it with, "I am capable," you start clearing a new path. With time, this new way becomes stronger, while the old one fades. This is called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated thoughts. Marcus Aurelius understood this long before modern science confirmed it. He wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts are filled with fear and self-doubt, your mind absorbs them like ink soaking into fabric. But if your thoughts are strong, disciplined, and clear, they shape a mind that is unshakable. Your inner voice, the silent engineer of your fate. Your mind is always listening. It does not question whether your thoughts are true, it simply reinforces them. Tell yourself, "I can't do this," and your brain finds proof. It recalls past failures, magnifies obstacles, and convinces you to quit before you even start. Tell yourself, "I will figure this out," and your brain searches for solutions, recalls moments of resilience, and strengthens your ability to adapt. The Stoics trained themselves to filter their thoughts through reason and discipline. They knew that fear and doubt were not external enemies but internal habits, and like any habit, they could be broken. Epictetus taught, "We are not prisoners of circumstances, only of our own beliefs." If you believe you are stuck, you are. If you believe you can move forward, you will. How to rewire your mind for strength. Start small. Every time a limiting thought arises, challenge it. Replace "I can't" with "I will find a way." Replace "this is too hard" with "this is making me stronger." Repetition makes this shift permanent. Just as a muscle strengthens through constant use, so does the mind. Train it daily. Choose your thoughts deliberately. And remember, the voice you strengthen in silence is the voice that will guide you in moments of challenge. Make sure it speaks with power. 5. Break free from mental chains. A prisoner does not need iron bars to be trapped. The strongest chains are not the ones that bind the hands, but the ones that bind the mind. Many people live as captives without realizing it, not because the world is against them, but because their own beliefs keep them confined. They tell themselves, "I'm not good enough. I will fail. This is just the way I am." And just like that, they build their own prison, one thought at a time. The invisible cage of limiting beliefs. You have probably seen it before. A person with talent, intelligence, and opportunity, yet they hesitate, not because they lack skill, but because a silent voice inside whispers, "What if I fail?" And so they stay where they are, not because they are incapable, but because they have already lost the battle in their minds. Now, imagine another person, perhaps less talented, less experienced, but with a different inner voice. Instead of fear, they tell themselves, "I may not know everything, but I will figure it out. This challenge will make me stronger. What if I succeed?" The difference, not intelligence, not luck, but the mental chains they choose to break. Epictetus said, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the view we take of them." Your struggles are real, but your suffering is optional. If you see challenges as threats, they will break you. But if you see them as training, they will build you. The fear of failure, a self-imposed prison. A woman once dreamed of starting her own business. She had the skills, she had the knowledge, but every time she thought about taking the first step, fear whispered, "What if I fail? What if people judge me?" So she stayed in a job she hated, convincing herself it was safer. One evening, exhausted and frustrated, she asked herself a different question. What if I succeed? That single shift changed everything. She started planning, learning, taking small steps. And before she knew it, she had built something real, not because she had no fear, but because she refused to let fear decide for her. Fear is not a stop sign, it is a doorway, but most people never walk through it. Breaking free, rewriting the script in your mind. The thoughts you allow to dominate your mind will shape your reality. If your inner voice is full of doubt, hesitation, and excuses, you will live a life of limitation. But if your self-talk is one of strength, resilience, and action, your life will expand beyond what you thought possible. Here's how to start breaking free. Recognize the chains. Pay attention to the beliefs that hold you back. Ask yourself, is this thought an absolute truth or just a habit? Challenge every limiting thought. When your mind whispers, "I can't," ask, "Why not?" Most of the time, fear has no real answer. Flip the script. Replace "I will fail" with "I will learn." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I will never be ready unless I start." Take action despite fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting in spite of it. The moment you step forward, fear loses its grip. Your mind is either a cage or a key. Most people wait for permission to believe in themselves. They wait for proof, for validation, for someone else to tell them they are capable. But the truth is, no one can break your mental chains for you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The question is, will you use that power, or will you stay trapped in a prison of your own making? Your mind is either a cage that keeps you small or a key that sets you free. 6. Control your energy through self-talk. A fire does not decide its own strength. It burns based on the fuel it is given. Your body works the same way. The fuel you give it is not just food, rest, or movement. It is the words you speak to yourself. Most people drain their own energy without realizing it. They wake up and say, "I'm so tired." Before facing a challenge, they think, "I can't do this." And when things get difficult, they whisper, "I have nothing left." And so, their body obeys. Their steps become slower. Their breath becomes heavier. Their mind surrenders before the real battle even begins. But what if you changed the fuel? What if instead of "I'm exhausted," you said, "I will push through"? What if instead of "This is too much," you told yourself, "I can handle this"? What if, in your most difficult moment, you whispered, "One more step"? Energy is not just physical, it is a mental discipline. Your mind decides your strength before your body does. A marathon runner hits a wall at mile 20. His legs feel like stone. His lungs burn. A voice in his head whispers, "You can stop. No one will blame you." And if he listens, his body follows. But another runner, facing the same pain, tells himself, "I will finish." His body obeys. His legs keep moving. His breath steadies. He finds energy he didn't know he had. The difference is not in their muscles. It is in their minds. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most people give up, not because their body has failed, but because their mind has surrendered. And the mind surrenders when the words inside it are weak. How to take control of your energy. Change the first thought of your day. Before your feet touch the ground, choose your words carefully. Instead of "I'm so tired," say, "I have enough energy for today." Refuse to speak weakness into existence. When you feel drained, don't say, "I have nothing left." Say, "I will find more in me." Use self-talk as a weapon. The next time you feel like stopping, whisper to yourself, one more step, one more push. Your body listens. Your words are either fuel or fire. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your mind is the command center. Your words are the orders. Your body is the soldier that follows. So, what orders are you giving yourself? Are they making you stronger, or are they making you stop? Because whether you realize it or not, your energy is not just a resource, it is a decision. And that decision begins with the words you choose to speak. 7. Create presence and energy. Before you say a word, before you make a move, people can feel your presence. Some enter a room, and the energy shifts. Others arrive, and they fade into the background before they even speak. What makes the difference? Not wealth, not looks, not luck. It is the silent force of self-belief, the way you speak to yourself before the world hears you. Your mind sets the tone before your voice ever does. If you step into a situation thinking, I don't belong here, your body absorbs that message. Your posture shrinks, your voice weakens, and hesitation fills the spaces between your words. But if you walk in telling yourself, I bring value, I am prepared, I belong here, your energy commands attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your thoughts do not stay hidden. They seep into your posture, your expressions, your presence. How self-talk shapes your presence. A job candidate walks into an interview. He has the qualifications, the experience, but in his mind a voice whispers, they won't pick me. His handshake is weak. His words sound rehearsed, not confident. And when he leaves, the panel forgets him. Another candidate walks into the same room, the same qualifications, the same opportunity, but his inner voice says, I bring something valuable. His presence is steady, his voice strong, not because he forces it, but because he believes it. When he leaves, they remember him. The difference, not skill, not luck, but the energy shaped by self-talk. Your energy speaks before you do. The world reflects what you project. If you doubt yourself, people sense it. If you believe in yourself, they feel it. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your self-talk is the reaction that determines everything. It either makes you hesitate or makes you certain. It either makes you invisible or makes you unforgettable. How to create presence and energy. Control your inner dialogue before you enter any situation. Ask yourself, what am I telling myself right now? Is it making me stronger? If not, change it. Use self-talk as an energy source. Before you step into a room, tell yourself, I bring something valuable. Repeat it until you feel it. Remember that your presence is a choice. You are not just a passive observer in life. You shape the energy you carry. Make sure it's one that cannot be ignored. Own your space. Own your energy. Most people wait for confidence to appear. They wait for permission to take up space. But the truth is, presence is not something you are given, it is something you claim. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So the next time you walk into a room, ask yourself, am I letting doubt shrink me, or am I choosing to take up space? Because whether you stand tall or fade away begins in silence, in the words you tell yourself before the world ever hears you. Your presence starts with your mindset. Comment below, "I own my space," if you're ready to step into every room with confidence, or "I am in control," if you're committed to shaping your energy. Let the world feel your presence. 8. Act today. Rewire your mind. Rebuild your life. You don't wake up one day with an unshakable mind. You build it, one thought at a time, one habit at a time, one decision at a time. Most people wait. They wait for confidence. They wait for the right moment. They wait until they feel ready. But waiting is just another form of hesitation. And hesitation is how people lose years of their lives. The way you talk to yourself today is shaping the person you will become tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you want a different life, start with different thoughts. The power of one small shift. A man wakes up every morning thinking, "I'm tired. This day will be difficult." And so it is. Another man wakes up with the same challenges, the same routine, but he tells himself, "I have enough for today. I will move forward." And so he does. The difference between them is not luck, not circumstances. It is the way they train their minds. Your self-talk is a daily choice. If your inner voice is weak, you will hesitate, you will overthink, you will let opportunities slip away because doubt whispered louder than action. But if your inner voice is strong, you will move, you will adapt, you will build the kind of life that is shaped by action, not excuses. Start now. How to rewire your mind today. Rewrite the first words you tell yourself every morning. No more, "I'm tired." No more, "I don't want to do this." Choose strength. "I am ready for today." Catch and replace limiting thoughts. When you hear yourself say, "I can't," pause. Ask yourself, "Is this true, or is this just a habit?" Then replace it. "I will figure it out." Act before your mind has time to hesitate. Stop overthinking. When doubt creeps in, take the first step before fear convinces you otherwise. Your future self is built in the present. Most people spend their lives wishing for change. But change does not come from wishing, it comes from training. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." You already know what needs to be done. The question is, will you start today? Or will you let another day pass, waiting for a feeling that will never come? Your future is not waiting, it is watching, and it is built with the thoughts you choose right now. Your mind, your reality, every thought you feed your mind is a blueprint for the life you build. If you speak doubt, you will live in hesitation. If you speak strength, you will move with certainty. The Stoics knew this truth centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So ask yourself, what words will you choose from this moment forward? Because in the end, your reality is nothing more than the echo of your own thoughts. Choose them wisely.